Hello, Alejandro and Mildred. Thank you so much for your attentiveness. I hope you guys had a wonderful spring break. Hope you guys enjoyed and rested during the spring break. Did you guys do anything special? Kind of? No? At least did you get any rest at all? Oh, I'm so sorry. It must have been very painful. I'm really sorry about that. Hmm. Okay. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to read to you what is expected of you to do today. So before we start, um, I would like to say this. Students are working on their project-based assessment. These are projects they have already started working on from the beginning of the semester. And at the moment, they have created their museum. Okay, so the purpose of this pre-assessment and the post-assessment is to kind of activate students' prior knowledge about the artifacts they used and the research information they used to synthesize and write and complete their museum. So, guys, first of all, let me go ahead and start. It says PPA Day 6, and today is peer review for you guys. The learning target for today is that today I will evaluate my peers' museum exhibit. So you will take a look at your partner's work today, and it says that so that I can compare their completed work with the requirement of the rubric which was given to you guys to guide you to complete your museum. And I know I have got it when I complete my peer review evaluation sheet, okay? So the state standard for this project is that the students will demonstrate skills for historical thinking, geographical analysis, and economic decision making. They will synthesize evidence from artifacts and primary and secondary sources to obtain information about events in world history and analyzing multiple connections across time and place. So, guys, if you have not taken your attendance, use the link below to fill out the attendance form, and it's R3. So, before we begin with the peer review, these are some simple questions that I have for you to activate your prior knowledge about the research that you did. So, for China, I want to ask you guys, we're going to use the Pear Deck to answer these questions. So, guys, I'm going to post the Peer Doc link for you guys to click on it and join me. I have some simple questions that you guys have already used to work in your museum. So I just want to activate your prior knowledge, and so that we call this pre-assessment to see how much you know about this information or you still remember. Okay. Okay. So let's start. The first question is, who was Shi Hongdai, and what was his contribution to his country's civilization? Does anybody know the answer to that? If you have, if you know the answer, please leave it. So if you worked on China, if you picked up the China civilization, you should talk about who Shi Hongdai is, and you should know some of the contributions in his civilization, in the Chinese civilization. Awesome. So Shi Hongdai was the founder of the Qing dynasty. Mildad, that is very awesome. He united China. That is amazing. Yes, you guys are right. Yes. Is there anything else that he contributed to his civilization? Is there something that he did that is still present in China, that is part of the Chinese culture? Does anybody know what he did? I'm going to give you context clues. What he did prevented invaders from coming into China and attacking the Chinese people. Does anybody know what it is? Yes, please go ahead and leave the answer in the Peer Deck if you can. Your dad, I really, really appreciate it. Alejandro, thank you so much. Yes, he did unite China. So I want all the answers on the Peer Deck, please, if you don't mind. He built the Great Wall of China. That is a very great answer. Mildad has already answered the question. He said he constructed the Great Wall of China so that invaders will not find it easy to cross over and come and attack the Chinese people. Is there anything else he did? A contribution to his civilization? Okay, that is wonderful, Alejandro. Alejandro says he built the Great Wall of China to stop evil spirits. Okay. What other contributions did he contributed to his civilization? What about his government? Does anybody have an idea the type of government he used? Does anybody has an idea the type of government he used? Yes, please go ahead and answer that. Okay, that's fine. Just take a minute or two to think about it and then answer it. Yes, he did have a monarchic form of government, but he also used some type of system in his government. Do you remember the system he used? So we do know that dynasty, the dynasty, they used the feudalism system, but people were not happy with it. So when Shin Hondai came, he used a type of government. Mildad, do you know? He used the legalism form of government. Okay, and let's move on to the next slide. So the Shan dynasty in China, um, Shin Hondai became the emperor from 221 to 206 BCE. He united all the individual warring states into one nation under the Shin dynasty, right? He used the legalism ideology to rule his people. He rewarded those who support the government and inflicted harsh punishment for those who disobeyed him. During his reign, the Chinese people practiced the religion called Taoism. It is a belief that there is unseen power that exists in everything in the universe. One of the many great achievements of Xing Hondai is the construction of the Great Wall around 22 BC, 221 BC. It was built to prevent invaders from entering and attacking the country. It is part of the Chinese culture. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide. So you guys remember that we talked about the Roman Empire and the Emperor Justinian, right? So for this review, I'm going to pre-assess you about the knowledge or what you remember about the Emperor Justinian and his contribution to the Byzantine Empire. Okay? So the first question says, who is Emperor Justinian? List some of his contributions to the Byzantine Empire. And how does some of his innovation impact our world today? Now, on the Pear Deck, you are going to give me an example of some of his contributions to the Byzantine Empire and who Emperor Justinian was. Okay? And what year did he reign? So if you know the answer to any of these questions, please go ahead and leave them on the Pear Deck. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the answers I see here. Okay, so one of the answers says that Emperor Justinian was the Byzantine emperor from 527 AD to 565 AD. That is awesome. And what are some of the contributions, some of the things he contributed to impact the Byzantine Empire? Alejandro, do you know some of Emperor Justinian's contributions to his empire? Yes, Alejandro. Okay, thank you. The Byzantine Empire impacted many cultures. That is awesome. For example, the Justinian Code, okay? Okay, so here are some of the answers that I see here. Many countries in the world have used the Justinian Code as the basis of. I'm still reading. Okay, so another person says that the Byzantine Empire impacted many cultures, and the inventions they made are, for example, the hand trebuchet. Okay, that is awesome. Is there anything in our modern world that that got the idea of the hand trebuchet? Any type of weaponry that we military use in our modern world that resembles the hand trebuchet during the Byzantine Empire, which Emperor Justinian invented. The military invented, I mean. So it says many countries in the world have used the Justinian Code as the basis of their law. You're right. Thank you so much for your input. I really appreciate it. Is there any weapon in our modern world today that had the idea of the trebuchet? Standing afar and throwing the weaponry to your enemies. Is there anything at all in today's military some of the weaponries where you can stand from a distance and throw a weapon to the location of your enemies? Because that was the idea of the trebuchet, right? So you're not so close to your enemies yet you can attack them. Has anything come to mind? Okay, Mildred. What type of weapon comes to mind? Whenever I think about some of the weapons that we use in our modern day, I think about missiles, right? During war, the soldiers stand from a distance and throw the missiles. It might not be the same thing as the trebuchet, but it's the idea of standing from a distance and throwing the weapon to the location of the enemy. Okay, let's see the let's go back to the slide. Mm-hmm. And nowadays people do what? Yes, people use missiles. Right. That is right. That is completely right. The idea is to not be so close to the enemy and still be able to attack them. So then it was the hand travel jet, now it's missiles. You throw it to where the enemy is located to destroy their property and hopefully destroy everything else that they are using to attack your end. So that I love your answers, very good answers. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so the Byzantine Empire and the Emperor Justinian began from 527 AD to 565 AD. He formed the Justinian Code, gave women equal legal rights, spread Christian faith in his empire, and fought battles to regain territories for the Roman Empire. During warfare, his military innovated and used the trebuchet, which was used for throwing huge rocks to their enemies from a distance. In our modern world today, the military use weaponry like missiles to throw to their enemies to attack their enemies from a distance, basically. Okay. So for the rubric, you guys have already completed your museum, which is due on Friday. So very good job. I'm so proud of you guys. Um, we are going to go ahead and review. Go ahead and click on where it says review the rubric to see what you have left. Okay. So you are going to review each other's work. So first of all, the Civilization Museum rubric says that once you create your project-based assessment, you will not take the SOL exams, okay, for your world history class, provided you have created um, your museum, okay? So that museum you have created and your portfolio is going to account state for the state exams, okay? All right, so it says that for your project, you will create a museum using Google Slides with artifacts that shows the characteristics of a civilization. You will use material from this unit to complete the assignment. Now, you guys have already completed your museum, but you are going to open your museum. Alejandro, you're going to review Mildred's museum. Mildred, you're going to review Alejandro's work, for example, okay? Um, you're going to check to see if there was a title page, okay? If you gave your museum a title, and without it, we take 5 points off. So it's important that you create a title slide with your name, the name of the museum, and the name of your civilization. Also, we expect you to create a welcome slide. On the welcome slide, we want you to give us a brief overview of your civilization, including where it was located, the time which it existed, and your welcome slide should also introduce the artifacts that are on display. Okay, so you're going to check each other's work to make sure that your partner has this on their museum. That is worth 5 points. Okay, and an additional 5 point is find artifacts. Your museum needs at least 5 artifacts. These artifacts must relate to 5 of the 7 characteristics of a civilization, and you must include a picture of the artifact on the Google slide. So you can use a vocabulary presentation that you made in class if you need additional help. Okay? And it says synthesizing information. Synthesizing information is worth 25 points. For each artifact, you must identify what it is, what it's used for, and why it is important, and explain how it shows that the civilization was advanced, and explain how the artifact impact us today. This needs to be written in full sentences in paragraph format with no grammatical or spelling errors. So double check your graphic organizer to make sure that all the information is correct. So next, we'll be checking for accuracy of content. The information in your welcome slide and the artifact slide must be accurate. And accuracy of content is worth 20 points. Finally, explaining evidence. On the gallery walk day, you must explain this Google form. On the gallery walk day, you must complete this Google form about your peer exhibit and your own experience making the museum. So in total, you guys will have 65 points for this assignment, and it's due on Friday. Obviously, the 2 of you has finished, so good job. Okay, I know some of the students are still working on it, so I want to congratulate the 2 of you for doing such a great job completing this assignment. So for today's date, which is April 4th, we will do the peer review, which is what we are doing right now. And we are going to complete any missing items on the project-based assessment. Okay, now let me come back here. So please go ahead and click on the review the rubric. It says that let's review the rubric to see what you have left to do. So just click on it anyway, and then click on your museum because you'll be comparing the two, the rubric and the work, the museum to the project, to see if you have anything missing at all. Okay, that's fine. But you will be reviewing with your partner. So in this case, it's gonna be Alejandro. So find a copy of the peer review sheet on Google Classroom. You will get into breakout groups and review each other's museum using the review sheet. Okay, so click on where it says peer review sheet and open it, please. And it should look like this. So the peer review sheet is basically everything we've gone over on the rubrics. You just want to make sure that your partner has all the information that is required on the project. Okay? All right. So on the next slide, since the 2 of you has finished, you don't have to work on the museum, but you do have to double check to make sure that all the requirements that we listed on the rubric is completed. So you can click either any of these rooms, okay, where it says open group room. You can click on it, and the 2 of you, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share the link here. You guys can use this room. Click on the link and the two of you can use your peer review sheet, check his work, present your work to Alejandro, let him take a look at your work, Mildad, and then he's going to use the review sheet to see what you are missing. You are also going to let him present his work to you to see. Yes, please. The two of you need to meet in that Google room. So there, you present your work to him, he'll present his work to you. Whilst he's presenting his work to you, you're going to use the review sheet to make sure that, so you're going to copy his, now I need Alejandro to copy and paste his work, his link, the link of his work to Mildad. And Mildad, I need you to do the same for Alejandro. So you guys are going to put, I'm going to direct you on what to do. So for instance, if you come back to the red room, come back to the red room. Yeah, let me show you something before you go. Come back to the red room. So do you see how it says PBA museum link? So the museum that you have created, right? You're going to go up there and copy the link and post the link at where it says project-based assessment museum link. So since you are assessing Alejandro's work, you're going to copy Alejandro. You put your name up there, Mildad. Your name will be Mildad over here, but you are previewing Alejandro's work, right? So you're gonna put his link over here where it says PBA museum link, right? And then the name of the peer reviewing the project. The name of the peer reviewing the project. So who is reviewing the project? If it's Alejandro, Alejandro will put his name here. If it's Mildad, Mildad, you put your name. If you are the one reviewing Alejandro's work, you put your name here where it says the name of the peer reviewing the project, okay? Alejandro, if you are the one reviewing Mildad's work, you put your name over here. And then it's asking you number 2, does the museum have a title? So you're going to check Mildad's work, Alejandro. After putting your name here, yes or no. Okay? Is there a welcome slide? And does it say when the civilization existed? Where it was located? And does it mention the 5 artifacts? If not, what is missing? So Alejandro, you are looking at Mildad's work, right? And then you are going to put whether it has all the information here, the welcome slide, okay, where the civilization existed, where it's located, and the 5 artifacts. If it has all of it, you're going to put yes or no. Okay, and if it doesn't have it, what is it missing? You're going to put it here if anything is missing. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? From a fist of 5 to 0, 5 is I understand, 0 is I don't understand, I'm confused. So you are going to go to Google Classroom. When you go to Google Classroom, I'm going to share it with you. When you go to Google Classroom, Alejandro, you're going to come all the way down here. Where it says Museum Walkthrough. Do you see that? PBA Museum Walkthrough.
Great. So say, tell me something about, you could say, through trade, Buddhism into Japan. because we know in Japan it's more
So
efficient.
Alejandro, you guys will go to this room here.
That was a good connection.
So you are here, right? So Mildred, please join Alejandro in this room.
Miss, can you change the link?
Alejandro, you're already there. So this is for Mildred to join you. And then Mildred, if you click on this link, you will be able to come to this room. It's only Alejandro that I see here. Okay. So over here, you are going to open the peer review sheet. And then Alejandro is going to present his work to you, Mildred, which is his museum, right? When you go to PBA Day 4 Museum Walkthrough, it should give you a copy of your museums, the work you have done, you have completed. Do you guys understand? Awesome. So over here, you're going to present your work, Mildred, to Alejandro. Alejandro, whilst he presents his work to you, you are going to use the peer review sheet. Awesome. So, Mildred,
So say it's whatever you want. We had said that, remember, Buddhism started in India, not in Japan. But you could talk about how it moved to Japan through trade. Does that make sense? I'm trying to help this make sense.